Today on Kids Career Quest, we are interviewing Dr. Abhinav Singh. He's the sleep doctor for the NBA's Indiana Pacers and the medical doctor of the Indiana Sleep Center, where he's helped more than 7,000 patients sleep better. He is double board certified in sleep medicine and internal medicine, holds a master's in public health, and teaches a sleep medicine class he created at Marian University. He also co-wrote the book Sleep to Heal, and outside of work, he loves teaching students and anyone curious about the science of sleep. Dr. Singh, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure to be with you guys. Thank you.
So to start it off, what made you want to become a doctor who studies sleep? You once said sleep chose you instead of you choosing it. What did you mean by that?
Going back about 24 years from today, I was a kid like you guys, finished medical schooling in India and was on my way to Switzerland to join the World Health Organization. That's where it's headquartered, when we were immunizing little kids against polio as med students. And eventually polio was eradicated from India, right? So that left a big mark on my head and said, okay, I've got to do this. And I applied everywhere for a scholarship. And the first people who responded were the Center for Sleep and Narcolepsy Research. I couldn't even spell narcolepsy, let alone know what it's about. So here I am across, just like you guys, answering the question. So young physician Abhinav Singh, what do you know about sleep? And the answer in my head was nothing at all, but you don't say that. So I responded and said, not as much as I would like to know. And immediately my smart aleck answer was called out, and the researcher asked back and said, not as much. So how much? And then I was caught with my towel dropped sort of moment and like, uh-oh. I said, they really didn't have much sleep education in our curriculum. Look at you guys, right? We don't teach it in school. We don't teach it in science class. We don't teach it in undergrad. We just don't, even in med schools. So I said, you're right, we didn't. And she said, okay, are you willing to learn? I said, yes. And then the offer was that I will waive your tuition for the first semester as well for your School of Public Health grad school. I about fell off my chair. I said, oh yeah, let's do this. So that's why I say I didn't choose it. It chose me. And fascinated, I never left the field. I fell into sleep and I never woke up is the line that I use. Guess what? Every living creature needs to rest or sleep, whatever you want to call it. Sleep doesn't have a language, just like music doesn't have a language. You know when you've slept well and you know when you've not slept well.
That's amazing. So bring us into the present. What does your daily schedule look like now as a doctor for a professional basketball team?
So basketball team is one of the things I do. I teach, I see patients, I run a lab, I teach med students, nurse practitioners, and I help a basketball team play better. My own Indiana Pacers, as well as the Indiana Fever, if you've been tracking the WNBA. So I serve as their sleep physician. If anybody's having issues with falling asleep, staying asleep, or they feel tired after rest, I make sure that they're getting the right attention to see if there's any problem or any optimization that we can do to sleep. Second, these are elite athletes, right? Unlike you and me, they put their bodies through a lot. So recovery matters. Performance, recovery, and avoidance of injury and recovery from injury, right? So I tell all my players this, like, look, sleep is your not so hidden weapon. The choice is yours. They've got the best training, they've got the best facilities, they've got the best coaches, the best techniques. What do they have that's missing, right? So if you can add a little bit of sleep improvement or optimization and you improve by 2% at that level makes the difference between a championship and missing or losing a game.
For those who don't know much about the field, what does a sleep doctor actually do generally? And what kind of problems do you help people solve?
Yeah, so a sleep doc, we do a little bit of detective work. We do a little bit of mechanic work. And by that, I mean, we have people coming in for all kinds of sleep problems, right? So people who are not sleeping well, that means they're having a hard time falling asleep, staying asleep. We call that insomnia. People who sleep enough but still remain tired. So we call that excessively sleepy in the day, right? Sleepy and tired. And then people who are snoring loudly, choking, gasping, and are just exhausted and are having all kinds of health problems because of that. That's called sleep apnea. Then we have kids who'll walk, talk, thrash in their sleep, act out, sleepwalk, fall over. That's called parasomnias. So we try to help these people diagnose these problems, figure out solutions all day long. So I see patients in clinic, we order testing, they come back, we review the test results, we form treatment pathways, and they live better as a result.
So, in your words, how does better sleep help athletes perform better on the court and people just perform better in their daily lives as well?
I'm reminded of a term called life maxing. I learned it from you kids, right? Everybody talks about life maxing. I want to live to the max. Yeah, if you're not sleeping well, you're not going to live to the max. So everything from your head to toe requires sleep as a recharge. Think about your phone. When it dies to 8-10%, what are you doing? You're plugging it in, right? And sleeping. And so when you wake up, you expect 100% from your phone, don't you? And everything should work well. And that's exactly what sleep does entirely for you. In terms of an athlete, it's been shown over and over in multiple studies that their speed is poorer, their accuracy reduces, their stamina drops, their performance errors increase, their mood is off, their learning reduces actually. So every sport is some combination of skill, accuracy, speed, and stamina. If you're not sleeping well, each one of those faculties is not going to work well. At night is when the memory is formed. When you go through your sleep cycles like a washing machine, it tunes and cleans the whole body, the brain, the neuronal circuits are formed. You remove the stuff you don't need, you keep the stuff you need, it puts it into the right boxes. That's how you remember stuff. When you go home and study for a test and you go to bed, you wake up remembering everything, right? When you give it that time, from your muscles to your nerves, to your heart, to your liver, to your eyes, every body tissue is going to recover and get better for the next day.
For all the kids watching, why is sleep so important for kids, especially while they're still growing?
Oh my goodness. Probably it's the single most element. Okay, so tell me this. Who sleeps more, a 1-year-old or a 40-year-old?
A 1-year-old.
Thank you. So think about it. So you get a computer from the store, right? You open it. The apps you can put on, right? Whatever app you want. But the operating system is pre-installed. I feel sleep is that operating system that comes pre-installed in every human and every living creature. And that's why kids will sleep 16 hours when they are born. And so that's when their brain growth is happening. That's when their cells are multiplying. That's when their bones are getting longer, muscles are getting longer. That's when, as you notice, in 6 months, the baby is able to sit upright, hold its head up. And then guess what? In a year, they start walking. Like, how did all that happen? Like, wow. And sleep is happening every single night of your life from your first to your last day. So neuronal growth, physical growth, mental growth, emotional balance, learning new things, skills, academics, sports, all these things are so important. Sleep is that healing, recovery, tuning that every body sort of needs. And so it's an essential process. And you'll realize that the difference is actually in favor of when you slept.
So you said you can't teach kids to sleep, but can you teach them habits to get them good sleep and get them all the good benefits of good sleep?
100%. So remember, when I say kids, every kid at a certain age group, it changes, right? So from 0 to 5, they really are going to sleep well with less effort. Then 5 to 10, 10 to 15, when it starts to become teenage years like you guys, now things start to be a little more distracting. You've got screens, you've got technology, you've got distractions, you've got a packed schedule. And sometimes sleep takes a backseat. So the first step I tell people is think about sleep as your superpower. If you sleep well, everything else works better. You look better, your body is better, you get less sick, you can perform better, whether it's music, art, academics, skill, sport, everything. So start prioritizing it, right? So protect it and protect it as your superpower. Now, the second thing is avoid the distractions. I call it a digital sunset. Have a time after the sun sets, when the technology goes to bed as well, right? So don't keep whatever, interacting till late. Give yourself time, just like everything, right? So give yourself time, shut it down. Then have a regular waking routine, like wake up at a certain hour, even on the weekends if possible. Keep it regulated. Don't sway it more than a certain hour, maybe two at the most. Morning sunlight. I tell people routines. What do athletes do? They have a process, right? They have the practice, always warming up, always practicing. Sleep is the same way. Find a routine, repeat, 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 repeat. Ask yourselves, when you do 30 problems of the same kind, guess what? You can start solving the problems pretty easily after that. But till you do those first 30, things seem hard. So I tell people, give yourself a 30-day challenge, a window, like do this and see how you feel. And the brain learns habits. Brain is such a habit creature, such a habit creature. The whole body is actually. And so that's what I tell kids, like get habits, pick the good ones, and you'll start to notice the difference.
So moving on, you keep describing sleep as a very universal concept. So what's one common misconception that you wish you could fix?
Yeah, the biggest one is I'll sleep when I'm dead. And it sounds very simple. They just don't recognize the value. They still look at sleep as weakness. I always use this line, tired is a trophy in the US. Tired is a trophy. Sleepy is a sin. So if you tell anyone I'm sleepy, man, then everybody looks at you as, oh, they're weak. They don't have, the strength to fight through this. So that's one common misconception. Sleep is not weakness. Sleep is strength. I want to change that narrative. Like, let's not call sleep weakness. Sleep is strength. Sleep is a flex, right? Have your fun within limits, everything in moderation, right? Everything in moderation, and keep your sleep as a routine. And you'll notice how much better you do. And lastly, if you sleep poorly, you get up every morning and say, man, I'm sleeping 7 or 8 hours, 9 hours, I'm still tired. Say something. Seek help. Something may be up and that could be treated and you could do better.
That's some really good advice. And now for like a moment of reflection, what's an achievement or moment in your career that you've been really proud of?
Yeah, whoa. So there's so many cool things that this career has gifted me with. So there was one basketball player and he allows me to use the story. It's about 10 years ago. He was a center for our team. He was struggling. He was very good. He was from Georgetown, running up and down the court. They tested everything. Like, oh my God, why is he so tired? He's always not moving. It's like he was, what's wrong? Like we've got everything going. He seems motivated. Even he can't figure it out. So his doc said, you know what? Let's send this guy to Dr. Singh. Let's see what he thinks. We've tried everything. We don't know what's wrong with this guy. And so I chatted with him. Tall. He was 7 feet tall, right? So he was 6'11", 7 feet tall. And he was the center of the team. We said, you know what? You may have some sleep disturbances, which could be bothering you when you sleep. So we tested him. We found out that he has moderate obstructive sleep apnea, which is snoring and breathing pauses at night. And he was having those about 18 times an hour. And say, wait a minute. And we treated his sleep apnea and he started to feel more alert, better. And he went on to make 2-time All-Star. His name's Roy Hibbert, and he allows me to use the story. And he was wonderful. And so till date, he retired and, he made conference finals. And so that's one story I vividly remember. And till date, he'll call me on Christmas and check on me because he still feels that it completely changed his life. And these things happen almost every day. Some version of this happens every week. So, and it's just joyful to be able to help people sleep better and live better.
Well, as you said, it's rewarding to be in this career. And for kids who just watch this interview and want to learn more about how to become a doctor or even a sleep doctor, what advice would you give them?
Yeah, go for it. And like I said, nobody will ever fault you for helping them sleep better. Just have an open mind and find something that really sort of keeps you curious. And it started off with me, I said, not as much as I would like to know. And really, I didn't know much. And it opened all kinds of doors for me. So that's the first thing, be true to your passion. Find something that makes you want to seek more in there. Stay curious. Always see how you can help other people and listen. I tell people this, that listening to the other person in front of you often is half the battle. And the last piece of advice I tell, if you're looking for a career in medicine or sleep medicine is, or any kind of career that involves helping others, is patients don't care about how much you know, but they definitely know how much you care. So they know if you care about them and you're trying to help them, they feel that, they know that. So always be that person who's trying to help someone else rise up, even if it's not a healthcare career, if it's a younger sibling, if it's a younger student, you're coaching them, tutoring them. And that's what I tell people, the best form of learning is teaching. So if you can teach someone to do better, whatever you know, share it with someone else. All you listening, chase it. And sleep medicine is a very, very fascinating career. There are only 190 sleep physicians in the country who graduate every year. From a country of 300 million, it's a growing specialty. It's a growing need in terms of technology, in terms of the knowledge that how important sleep is for health, longevity, performance. Everyone can be coached to sleep better.
Alrighty, I think that is all our questions for today. Thank you so much, Dr. Singh, for sharing your work with us today and helping people from everyday families to these professional athletes sleep better and then live healthier lives. We'll remember that a good night's sleep is one of the best gifts that we can give our own bodies and our minds. Thank you again for being such a good role model and showing us the science behind something we do every night.
Absolutely. Thank you, boys. Thank you, guys. Good luck to your group, and may you inspire as many kids as you can.